Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion, Plays of Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. Why is rerun unlocked? Do I have to do a rerun now? I don't recall. Either way, we've been doing great work as the Lost. We have to do Mega Satan. We have to do Greed mode. You know what? You gotta do Greed and Greedier. If I remember correctly, that was at least the way that it worked in Afterbirth. Like when the original Afterbirth, not Afterbirth Plus, was released. 0 ZJ7 1 PHN. We're gonna try. It's been forever since Greed mode. The last time we did Greed mode, I mean. We're gonna try to get through it here, knowing that once we get through it, we're still gonna have to do Greedier at some point anyway, and that's fine. We'll work through that. We don't really care about a judgment. In fact, we would actively besmirch the good name of this judgment. The finger is an okay item. I really, if I'm being straight up with you, I don't really know how to approach Greedier and Greed, which we're on right now, as the Lost. One part of me is saying, play risk averse. As soon as you spawn a wave, step on the button, leave the room, re-enter the room when you've killed the entire wave. The idea being that as long as you don't get hit by one wave, you only have to fight one wave at a time. The downside is that over time, this is going to lead to like a huge leeching of money out of our run, which is probably gonna bite us, is my expectation. I don't even need to tell you where it's gonna bite us, because I'm sure you can do that math yourself. You plus me, it doesn't equal us. I guess I didn't know my calculus. And I think Greedier is actually, and Greed. When I say Greedier, I mean both of them, essentially. I think it's a little harder as the Lost than a lot of other modes are. Nothing here really stands out to me right off the bat as like something we have to get. I do like the idea of a 5-cent bomb that is almost guaranteed to give us at least 5 cents. In fact, it gave us 10 cents. I think we'll buy another bomb for 5 cents, blow these guys up. We got a bomb out of it. I didn't blow up the other one, but I misplaced the bomb, so I'm just gonna count my chickens right now. We'd probably prefer Bob's Rotten Head, even though it's not that good. And I think after that we want to buy a 3-cent key, and then I think we hedge our bets. I'm not sure that we look at Magic Scab and say that that is really that good for us. I'm not sure we look at Pandora's Box and say that that's very good for us. I think we just be happy with what we've got for now. And we can always, you know, re-roll the machine a little bit, but of course every time that you re-roll the machine, whether you use money or bombs, you're putting resources into it. And we're gonna get essentially a re-roll of the machine on the next floor regardless. But I accept that not everybody probably would see things that way. We have been hit once, but we'll just leave the room and then re-enter before we fight our final wave. Trying to keep all of my, well, not really all of them. I'm trying to keep Bob's Rotten Head available for our boss fight so that we can get a free deal with the devil. And I think that's largely where the run's success or failure is going to come from, is, you know, whether or not we're able to get something decent on this first floor deal with the devil. Hello? Oh my god. This is like, I have no idea how Lust did not just murder me instantly. But I saw my moment, I took it. Easy money, no Krampus. No Krampus, we get Guppy's Head. Much better than Bob's Rotten Head. And we'll head down to the next floor. Speaking of head, we'll head down to the next floor. See, I love D4, but I'd rather get some head. But see, I was alive in 2004. We got Dogtooth. There's a secret room attached to the room here somewhere. We got one heck of an overbite. We can sleep, but it's not going to give us anything. We do want to start this floor by buying some things. Our stats are looking good, admittedly. Onsus is kind of irrelevant. But we'd like to improve upon this. And certainly a free key is lovely. Empress card is very nice. Probably will pay for itself. Wow. I think we want both of these items, but we'll start with Holy Light, which is incredible. Then we'll probably use a bomb right here. And that's not quite enough money, unfortunately, but we definitely want Hive Mind because of Guppy's Head. So we're just gonna pop the Empress and go to town. I expect that we're kind of past the crest. Like, I think we're Last floor was a little tricky, not super difficult, but a little tricky. This floor I expect to be actually, like, kind of on the easy side. We've improved way more than the enemies have gotten more difficult, so we're gonna be sitting pretty, I think, for the next floor. And, you know, the idea on any Isaac run, but especially where you're playing as a vulnerable character to begin with, is you want to just never be anxious at all about the quality of the run. And we're kind of there right now, but we need to ensure that it stays like that to the best of our ability. Hive Mind's great. Car battery, also great. And we don't need anything else on this floor. Like, the game is already... it's been so absurdly kind to us that I'm almost, like, in backpedaling mode, where I'm like, you know, you don't need to do that, that's okay. So we're... Immediately from that shop, we're getting twice as many flies, and the flies do twice as much damage. The one kind of, like, question mark is that our own stats have not improved that much. I would be loath to suggest that we're in a bad place, because I don't think that that's even close to being true. But our own stats, without Guppy's head, are not that strong. Luckily, we should never have to leave Guppy's head. But still, I would like to have my cake and eat it too. I'm gonna resist the desire to go on that tired old bit of, like, why would you ever not want to eat the cake that you also had? As much as it might behoove me to do so, thank you for being dead. These guys are proving to be mildly annoying. This would be a terrible time to die, but it could happen. It's really all about whether or not he shoots. Like, the fire shouldn't be able to get me. And one more holy light will finish the job, but if he shoots bullets, he could get me. Lucky me. And again, no Krampus. Instead, we get a Thame and a bomb. A Thame is worthless here, but I'll take it anyway, because it also doesn't cost us anything. And we will, again, head down to the next floor. Still, I mean, on that floor, we got much, much better. Our stats didn't improve that much, but just getting the Guppy's head synergies is incredible. Adrenaline, it's a start towards Spun. Mom's Lipstick is not worth nothing, but it's admittedly not worth much. There is a secret room attached here somewhere. It did pay for itself. We gotta be ready to leave if one of these is bad trip. Speed down is really bad, but we can compensate and also work towards Spun. We don't need to worry about donating. Remember, we already donated everything that we could ever hope to, or ever have to hope to. The speed upgrade there is worth something. All right, let's do it. We did have the Empress for a long time on the last floor, which also gave us a little bit of a leg up in competition here, but I think we got at least this floor. Okay, I am actually in a nightmare spot now, because we have to do the whole wave without getting hit. Help me, please. I was just gonna say, and it's ironic, but I'll say it anyway. I was just gonna say, I think we have one more floor before the walls will probably start to close in on us, and things become super difficult, or more difficult at least. But now that clearly appears to possibly have been a little bit overly cocky on my behalf. The Boney is the real threat. The zombies are not that bad. One holy light wipes them all off the map. Looks like we'll probably escape. Please. Okay, a little scary, but we're out of it. We actually have no incentive to buy anything from that shop either. I never realized, but it's like a huge advantage to be fighting Gertie Jr. on a large floor. Made it so I was, like, completely unconcerned about that boss whatsoever. We're gonna have a lot of money for the next floor, but at the present moment we do lack anything that's gonna immediately improve our standing. Is there I feel like there should be a boss underneath. Like, one big horn just doesn't feel like enough of a threat for this stage in the game. Like, they're gonna pull the rug out from under me. Well, there's one more way to this day that they could still pull the rug out from under me. That's one way. Another way would be to give me Krampus! I'm mad. I'm mad because we were in such a good spot, and I let Bighorn, an enemy that I actively insulted, get in my head. You don't need a freaking seed. All I'm going to say is that the run was good, and it wasn't even... This is not me backpedaling that hard. The run was good, maybe even great, but we were completely beholden to Guppy's paw. As soon as the paw... Or sorry, Guppy's head. As soon as the head was exhausted, we had nothing else to go on. We definitely want to buy Omega Penny. I think we want to start like this. Like, even on this run, our rate of fire has gotten better to begin with, so... I'm not saying it's actively better than our last run, because that would be foolish, but... That's kind of what I mean, is that our stats let us down a little bit. Not as much as my misclick, or, you know, poor play let us down, but... In principle, our stats let us down there a little bit. But that's what's fun about a Lost run, you know? Anything could go wrong at any given moment. No run is one. And that run, it wasn't even that close to being one. Obviously, if we'd fulfilled the Guppy dream, we probably would have had it, but... So how do you use Omega Penny? Oh, that's gonna hurt. How do you use Omega Penny on a greed run? Probably you try to double the shop, right? Does it ruin the shop if it doesn't double? Do we only want to double trash? I think you can save Burkano. Help. I don't think we should save Burkano. I was just gonna say, I think we should immediately use Burkano. Alright, Lost Greed, proven a little bit more difficult than expected. Now, I'm not a big proponent of holding R most of the time, but I do want it to at least be an item that has some merit attached to it. Like, if I can get 2 tears ups here, or 3, I'd be happy. I'm not waiting for Polyphemus. What I'm waiting for is, like, a statistical upgrade that isn't HP, or something along those lines. Something decent. There we go. Mr. Dolly is immediately decent. If not mildly better. And I would have loved the Guppy's head there, but they're getting a little greedy, I'll admit. There's a lot of good items there, actually. I might prioritize buying growth hormones or roid rage over getting a key and then having a little bit of spare cash, but we might be able to get both. I feel like at this point, ooh, I should know how much money you get from one perfectly done greed floor, but I don't. Because I rarely play this mode after I've unlocked everything. Might want to prioritize actually getting some enemies killed. Just in theory, I think it might be useful for us. Somehow we dipped beneath the lasers there and made it out. I think we're going to have we need 20 cents, basically. And, I mean, we could get Mama Mega as well. And I have a sneaking suspicion that is probably not gonna be the appropriate way for us to handle this. Okay, you're still living, and living relatively well with that 7 rate of fire. Ooh la la. Lucky us. Alright, so I mean, there's 20 cents right there. So we'll start with Synth Oil. I don't know why I thought that was Roid Rage. Had an extreme brain fart. Leprosy, I think, is okay, but let's see what we get in here first. It's a speed upgrade, which I will happily accept, and that's essentially our floor. We might be able to get a 7-cent item, but I don't know how we would generate that into existence in the first place. And we're going to get free deal with the devil items, but you can never rely on those. Sometimes it's going to win you the run straight out, and sometimes it's going to just be disappointing. I was trying to think of a metaphor, but, you know, why use a metaphor when the normal thing will get the job done, you know? It's like there's no need to use... See, the joke there was I was going to make a metaphor to explain why I wouldn't use a metaphor. It's like using organic parsley when normal parsley does the same thing. It's not a good metaphor. Organic parsley, you might, you know, maybe it has a little bit less carbon footprint associated with it or something. And maybe there's a little bit less carbon... You know what? You shouldn't make fun of people who are doing what they can for the environment. I'll admit, I don't go out on a daily basis and go, what's going to minimize my carbon footprint? But when I see people that, like... Well, here's something that... We live in a city that's pretty green. Vancouver prides itself on being relatively environmentally forward. You know, nature is integrated into the city in many ways. We haven't used plastic bags forever. But sometimes we'll bring it up on the show, and people will be like, there's no way I'm paying 5 cents for a plastic bag. As soon as they institute a bag tax, I'm gonna bring my own bags. And you're like, yeah, that's the point. I actually, I had forgotten that grocery stores used to give out plastic bags for free. I don't know if it's Canada-wide, and some cities have just banned them completely, but we don't do plastic bags here anymore. You can still get them. It's just gonna cost you, you know, 5 cents a bag, so it might add 10 or 15 cents to your grocery trip. Not that big of a deal for certain. But, you know, it incentivizes you a little bit to bring your own bags. If you're interested. And I see people sometimes mocking that as like... You know, it's like liberalism gone mad or something like that. And I'm like, it's... Plastic bags are bad. Of all the things you're gonna knock it for, like... That seems like one of the least... honest, to be honest with you. Thank you for the bombs. I'm gonna try something like this. And as long as we don't get hit, we're okay. I don't need to do this, but we'll do it anyway. Alright, we got 10 cents. I would like Skinny Odd Mushroom. I would kind of like Jar of Flies, but if I'm evaluating this kind of in a vacuum, or not in a vacuum, but with what we presently got, the opposite of in a vacuum, in a Swiffer, we don't need to get rid of our existing spacebar item. We might be better off stacking passives. This is definitely one of the items, Telepathy for Dummies. It's one of the items that benefits from being on greed mode. Because one charge gets you a lot of homing capabilities. So I think that if I'm being real with you, we could probably afford to stick with it, but I'm just trying not to die yet again. Had a feeling we were pretty close to the end of the road here. We'll definitely leave when this is over. 28 cents. I think we'll start with Skinny Odd Mushroom. Certainly going to lower our damage, but raise our rate of fire proportionately as well. Now, Poke-Go is kind of an interesting choice. I think it's probably worth 15 cents or more. The question more so becomes, is it worth not having the choice to buy another 15-cent item immediately when we get down to the next floor, or if we do a reroll here? And of course the answer is, it doesn't matter because we're fairly likely to just die right here. We've got no choice but to fight 2 waves. If the other wave is just 2 Wrath, we should be fine. But I've said that before and been proven summarily wrong. Why are you so fast now? Should probably buy a 3-cent key. It's reroll machines, right? Pay to win? Extension cord can be okay. Sprinkler can be nice as well on greed mode, but I think we're just gonna start. Let me put it this way: we're gonna keep with what we've got for now, and we'll see if we require the use of these other things. Because I'd much rather just buy an item that's passive and adds to our stats, as opposed to buy something that requires us to kind of build around, unless it's really worth it. And I think we're kind of in that in-between period right now. Deals with the Devil continue to just be absolute garbage. And we've rerolled Jar of Flies. So I think at this point we're actually going to stick with Telepathy for Dummies. And leaving our 3rd floor, I gotta be real with you, I don't feel that confident in our ability right now. I think we're a little bit understated. Not a ton, but a little bit. Rate of fire is great, damage is merely good. That's probably worth it, especially since we just complained about damage. Scapular is not, though. We just want to get a broad view of the floor before we make any decisions here. I think that, strangely, we actually get no benefit from Binky. I don't want to put too much money. That would lower our tier cap and institute a fear shot that might make Binky functional, but I think you just take it because it gives you a tears down for, or tears up for now. You probably take this, but I can't help but feel that's a little weak. And then we just ride this floor, basically. We got a homing, high damage tears. I would love to not leave this room and lose the devil effect until we had, I'm excited is still functional, as you can see. Well, you know what? Let's not focus on any broad things then. Let's focus on survival alone. Because with I'm excited, a lot of enemies can frag us from, like from 0 to 60 in like record time. So, for the present moment, we might be advised to just kind of relax a little bit. Like, okay, just get through this room. You gotta leave after this. It's so much more important to have Holy Mantle than to have the Devil. Alright. I don't think we want Binky. I mean, we want it, but I don't think it's worth taking. I think we instead look at this and we go, you know, probably Conehead to give you that infamy sort of setup is your game plan here. I'm certainly not against what we've gotten on this floor. A fire rate increase. Okay. Did we step on the... We stepped on the button, didn't we? That was what caused our problems. I don't think it's that good. But I took it regardless, because I think it's good enough. Like, the Halo, I recognize. It's not going to give us any extra HP. And it's only going to give us a modest improvement in everything else. But honestly, the big get from that might be the speed. I don't know what I've done here. I've messed up the waves. I think this might be our deal with the Devil Wave. It was? So I clearly screwed something up with the buttons. I like Little Horn. I like Demon Baby. And I like heading down to the next floor. Without a doubt. Maybe we got something here. We still gotta be Greed without taking damage. Twice. The Screw I don't think is worth it here. We need bombs, man. Caffeine pills probably not worth it. Yeah, we just threw out like 7 cents for no reason, more or less. We could have bought a key with that and gotten into the other item room. Which would have possibly presented us with roughly the same conundrum. But... alright. You know the deal. I mean, we could step on the button if we want, but it would lower our earning potential, so... that's the trick with the Lost, you know? You can only step on the button if you haven't already been hit. The time when you would most want to pull the ripcord on a room and leave it is right after you've been hit. So I suppose if you did it fast enough, you might be able to do both. But I think that is that's the domain of a fool. www.fool.tk. Because why would you spend $10 for a domain name when they're just giving them away for free? The domain of a fool. Hey, I'm worried that Little Horn is going to smash these rocks. That was really good. So we need a key. Probably the best way to do it is latch key. I love it. Booger Tears, very, very good. Then we'll come down here and please, just don't make me regret this. Ah, I regret it immediately. But Booger Tears actually gives us a, you know, I'm not a poker player, but it gives us an out. If we get Shielded Tears combined with Booger Tears, we might be like more or less set. All we gotta do is latch as many of these shots onto Greed as we can. And we got a chance. I mean, you can get hit once against Greed. It's not like you can get hit 0 times. Oh, I actually thought that we were fighting war. And I was wondering where he went off to. That was stupid. And that was equally stupid. We have to focus pretty intently here, unfortunately. He's very nearly dead, but he's not quite there. A little bit more juice, he's probably done now. Okay. Leave, re-enter. Do we want Black Hole, or do we want Telepathy for Dummies? Black Hole's pretty good, but it's a lateral move to some extent because it's not that much better than Telepathy for Dummies. And I think it might actually be worse when it comes to bosses, which we're pretty quickly approaching. It can be used less often, which again is a good thing if as long as its power increases correspondingly. But if we're only using it once because of bosses, like we want something we can use on bosses, is what I'm trying to get at. We just gulp the trinket. Then it's not as good. And there's no trinket to purchase here. I hate to do it, but... Oh, it ended up being worth it. Growth hormones is a nice pickup. We're heading down. I'm still quite skeptical about our chances, but... Skeptical, but with a hint of optimism in there. Mulligan, incredible item. HP, not so much. Paperclip, nah. You could make a case for that, I guess. And I think it's probably like a little too late for chaos to matter. No trinket, huh? No bomb. Alright. You know what? I think we should try... Oh, there's no bomb even for sale. Okay. Let's do this then. We'll fight for it. So I think we now have a pretty solid setup. We got like a pseudo guppy run. Help. You're gonna explode. We got a pseudo guppy run. We got damage. We got flies. We got homing tears to some extent. We got a gulp trinket that's just waiting for the right opportunity to really pop off. And we still have that specter above us of, you know, being able to die at essentially any given moment. So... it's the kind of thing we do want to keep eyes out for is... You know, there's some truth to the statement from Darkest Dungeon. Remember, confidence is a slow and insidious killer. But there's no rerolls. But I think we save... It's a tough call, isn't it? Let's get it. It's always fun. We might as well get it. And we're still going to get a lot of money for the next floor. We'll just compensate by also getting this. I really wish. The luck up's fine, but I really wish that one of those had been a nickel. But it is what it is. And we'll have enough money to buy a bunch of stuff on the next floor, and that's where chaos really shines. So, it is when you have enough money to really take advantage of your shops. So as long as this guy stays line of sight, we got no problems. We should probably pop homing tears. It would be nice to not have to leave this room, and we're going to have to leave this room. I was like, we almost did it, and then we failed. That's okay. Double adversary is just a terrible roll. We're fast enough to dodge the lasers, and we can actually dodge through the center of the map, which you can't do most of the time because there's a button there that has spikes on it. Some jerk put it there, surrounded it with spikes, and said, hey, if you want to live, push on this. Pull my finger. And I say, no, good sir. We made it through that surprisingly easily. Alright. We're approaching moments of truth. I think we're looking good. But a very valuable shop would go a long way. Guardian Spear is like straight up one of the most overrated items in this whole game. Black Rune, though. Don't get me wrong, I want to keep Gulp. There's a couple horrible waves for us on this floor, by the way, so I'm not giving up the idea that we're still in danger. But we shouldn't have picked... Oh, I stepped on the button. Wait, can't the Lost step on it for free? Didn't I just blow out my whole concern there? There is a reroll machine. Would we rather just... No, we definitely would rather spend a penny. You'd certainly want Crown of Light. You probably want Chocolate Milk. What I was just going to say, though, is that Black Rune has potential. If we can somehow get ourselves spacebar items that we don't want, including the one that we're presently holding, we can use Black Rune to get stats out of the other ones. And then we can always go back for Gulp if a second trinket shows up at some point. But I'm loving having 14 damage. Crown of Light is just a straight damage upgrade as the Lost, because I, don't believe you can ever get hurt and then lose the bonus. So, I'm always talking about items like... what's a good one? Varicose Veins. Like, Varicose Veins is horrible as the Lost. Good as everybody else, but terrible as the Lost. This is one of these rare items that's, like, great as the Lost. And, like, pretty good for everybody else, I suppose. Crown of Light, that's better than pretty good, but it's even better for the Lost than anybody else. But what are our odds of killing Greed? I'd rank him pretty high right now. We fought Greed enough times in the recent history of these episodes. I think we got a chance. I kind of like the idea of going Chocolate Milk, and then on these ones, we'd probably go for a reroll, because we can't buy 2 items anyway. And then we'd look at this and say these are just god-awful. So we'll buy Book of Shadows, which will give us some invincibility, and then we'll suck up that. It gave us a luck and range upgrade, which is just not very good. This is the wave I was thinking of, by the way, that could ruin our run. So my game plan is just Dream Crush him, then make as much space as possible. And we're saving Book of Shadows for the Greed fight. If we pop Book of Shadows after we get hit, we're probably going to win. I said Book of Shadows was trash, and I, like, immediately regretted that, because it's just a misrepresentation. It's not a trash. Nobody that knows me would say that I would ever say Book of Shadows is a trash tier item. It's extremely good. Especially in this relatively unique situation. The reason I took Chocolate Milk is I was hoping that Chocolate Milk would lead to a situation where if we hit them with a fully charged Chocolate Milk shot and it booger tiered them, then it would do more damage over time. Whether or not that's true, I don't really know. But I do know, we've done this before, and one way to make a Lost run, not a Lost run, one way to make a Greed fight work out in your favor as likely as possible, oh, that's real bad, is just stack up as many booger tiers as you can. And he should start to eat it pretty profusely. I almost got killed by a little baby spider right there. I would really just like you to not make bombs. That's like the only one that's truly terrifying. It is, like, it's scary right now. It's looking alright, but it's scary. And it's also very maddening to realize that, like, a single, like, battery baby probably would have made that 10 times easier. But we made it. We made it in pretty good timing. Zodiac's appeared in the basement. Not a particularly strong item, but nothing wrong with it. He's still taking damage. I'll donate the little money I have. And we did knock it out. It looked like there were some times we might not have been able to make it happen. We've done it. Greedier and Mega Satan remain. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.